Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to the Roast B2B UGC video ads by Content Beta. I am Rish, your host, and today I have Diana Cotswell. Hi, Diana. Nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to meet you, hear you, see you in the comments.
Nice. So maybe, Diana, we can start with your intro,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can jump to the agenda.
Cool. My name's Diana. I'm based in Sweden and I work as a fractional CMO for SaaS companies, B2B. I focus on early stage, kind of seed Series A, and have previously run marketing at a large SaaS fintech. I'm very interested in how we can use creativity in B2B because that's very much underused and missing. And that's why coming here and looking on some ads and giving feedback on them and figuring out do they do what they're supposed to do? How can they do it better? I think that's a really exciting proposition. And my exposure to UGC has been limited until today. Now, now I know, expert level.
Lovely, lovely. I remember the post which you made, and somebody said, "Hey, is UGC in B2B for real?" And then you said, "Oh, let's come in the event and see."
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's kind of the similar if we talk about influencers in B2B, right? Maybe a year and a half ago, people would have been like, "What?" But now that's very mainstream. That's what's trending, and a whole bunch of other channels are coming over from B2C, and they need to be adopted. And I think it's interesting to see to what extent and how to make it work.
Nice. Quick intro. So I am Rish. I'm the founder at Content Beta. We are a creative as a service for B2B SaaS. So anytime if your marketing campaigns are stuck because of no videos or design or creative bottleneck, you know who to reach out to. We work with Recurly, ServiceNow, OpenText. But more about that later. Let's talk about B2B UGC ads. Unlike the other popular format of roast where we make fun of things, this is more of an educational um, session. We'll first talk about why most B2B ads are boring and they fail to convert, and probably Diana can share her insights. I mean, for me, I think B2B is boring to boring, but I'm happy to change my opinion. Um, and then we look at UGC ad. Now, UGC is a new emerging format, and like always, B2B folks copy from what B2C is working in B2C world. And then in the end, we'll share our common note that, hey, what did we learn from this session? Diana, how about this?
That sounds really good. Yeah, let's dive in.
Great. So over to you, Diana. Why do you think B2B ads are boring, corporate-y, and really they stick to their brand like a checklist?
I think it's because brand is often not very well defined, right? Compared to B2C, there's no effort spent on that whatsoever. But my controversial take is that the reason they're boring is because people aren't digging deep enough. It's so easy to just state, oh, I'm marketing to accountants or HR people or I don't know, CTOs, and that's boring. Whereas the world of CTOs and accountants is pretty damn wild, right? You just have to get to know them sufficiently well, understand their pain points, understand their emotional state that precedes them being interested in your software or even in the category. And I think a lot of the B2B work, it goes after this 5% that's supposedly in the market and ready to convert. So they just bump rational claims and they forget that the 95% of the market that are future buyers are, that's not how you're going to get through to them. You need to catch them sort of higher up the funnel. So it's a strategic mistake, a commercial mistake, and then there is an element maybe of lacking creativity or misunderstanding of brand. But one stat that I wanted to bring in, and this is a terrible, terrible stat, but we need to be aware of it, is that 75% of B2B ads are not fit to drive long-term growth in market share. They are
Hmm.
not distinctive enough to even be noticed, so they don't stand out in your feed, and they're not memorable enough, right? So there is no distinctive brand assets or association with a specific brand. So they're just kind of like shouting into the void, and that's a stat by System One, who analyzed 1,600 B2B ads in order to come to that conclusion based on their own scale. I think it's a heartbreaking stat, but it also says, wow, you really can win if you just go a little bit harder, right? Come on,
Correct.
just a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Actually, it reminds me of. So I had a conversation with April Dunford. She's like the god of product
Mm,
positioning, and one time she told me that, hey, why B2B brands cannot be bold because they are pitching to like CXOs of companies, and the
mm-hmm,
number one job of as a sales guy or as a product is ensure that the CXO is not fired because of bringing the product into that company, right?
mm-hmm,
So you can't look like really bold, like how you see water known as death water, right? I mean, that's how people
mm-hmm.
brand really well these days. So one of the perspective, I think she put it in my head that, hey, you sometimes have to stick to your the typical checklist because you're marketing to senior execs. And I
Mm-hmm.
said that, don't they hang out on TikTok? Don't they hang out on Instagram? And yes, the answer is yes, they do hang out there.
They're barely hanging by the thread to spend a lot of time on TikTok, I guess. But you know what? What I find interesting is that many people say, and therefore it has to be rational. That's cool. Your claims can be rational and very well argued, but you still need to catch their attention. And a
Mm,
percentage is
mm,
not going to catch their attention. And unless they're paying attention, you can be the best product in the world. They just won't even, resonate with what you're saying. So, and also CEOs, rational, but how many have you met? And they're very emotional, in fact, in their buying decisions and their priorities to, like you said, not be fired. That's an interesting tale there, right?
mm. Let's get the ball rolling. So,
Mm.
what we'll do is I'll play the video, we'll watch it together, and then we both can share like a perspective on what could we change, right? And something like this.
Mm-mm.
And full disclosure, I mean, we have nothing against the brand. I mean, just mostly this is for education. That if we were taking a look as a like a neutral viewer, what would we want to see, right? And that's the take I
Mm-mm.
want most marketers to take. That, hey, this is the key elements of creating a great ad. Um, Alrighty, I'll get the ball rolling.
What if every patient call, text, and web chat could be answered instantly without adding staff or paying for an expensive answering service? Aria by Doctor Connect is your 24/7 AI receptionist, replacing your answering service for as little as $150 a month. It keeps patients happy, prevents missed calls, and frees your team to focus on in office care. Click the sign up link below to book your free product tour and see how Aria can work for your clinic.
Let's start with you, Diana.
Well, I'll do the bits and then I'll do a conclusion. I was surprised that it's an ad, right? It's more like a demo. And if you think about the fact that it's selling AI receptionist, it's not a bad demo. Dude has a voice. It sounds natural, right? He does look
Mm.
very creepy. I don't know if he is AI, probably, because there's an AI tool, or he's a real dude who's meant to sound like AI reading off script because you can see it with his eyes. But as an ad, there is no hook, right? If I'm scrolling LinkedIn, it's on LinkedIn, right? I wouldn't stop. It's extremely monotonous with tone of voice, and maybe that's why AI is a bit bad, right? A salesperson, a receptionist tone of voice will have more color and empathy to that. But my
Mm.
biggest thing with it is too many messages. So, firstly, they want us to look at the video and be like, aha, that's impressive. It's a talking thing. Then they want us to realize that it's an AI receptionist, but we only see it in that little text. And the third thing is they're leading with price. So normal one is 300, now it's 150. And I appreciate the desire to blend them all together to be like super, super strong messaging. But the reality of marketing, you got to pick one and go with it, right? And then people will not hold three messages in their heads at the same time, which is what makes it a bit convoluted and messy. I think they could have created three different angles and tested them separately instead of just jamming it all into one. Is it quality? Is it price? Or is it the fact that it's an AI receptionist in the first place? There's three things they could be saying.
Tell
So
one
that's my
story, you're
take.
saying. Don't tell like a
Yeah,
big story, tell one small story.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
cool one. That's a good one. I was actually thinking, I was definitely thinking he was reading the script, but now I have a different perspective because you said maybe this is not a real person, this is AI. And then it's a pretty bad job that if what AI is doing, given that you want somebody to hire an AI talent.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, let's move to the next one.
Better be a good
Oh,
one. It's it's loading.
yeah.
Yeah, what did you do last night?
I had ChatGPT write a scraper that pulls all of my sales-related emails and replies into a sheet. I dropped that data into Claude 4 Opus and had it create 2 campaigns, one for previous sponsors and one campaign for people who reached out but never converted. I wanted these campaigns to reflect how I actually talk to prospects, including all of the little details and nuances of our business, which is why I scraped all of my real sales emails first. Before building out the campaigns, I dumped 500 prospect records into Attio. It enriched company description, revenue, and employees automatically. I added 2 AI research agent fields, one for sponsor fit. AI researches if they're a good fit for our newsletter. One for product value prop. AI pulls the company's main product offerings. We'll use these later in the campaigns I'm building. Then I built my 2 email sequences in Attio. I added AI content throughout the campaign. I used the AI company value proposition variable to write a personalized PS for every prospect. I also had my colleague Joey build an automation so when a prospect books a call, they move to meeting booked. When it's time for a call, Attio's meeting agent records it, pulls out action items, and stores them on the company's record. Now I can stop paying for those other AI meeting assistants. So the end result, I went from 500 potential prospects to around 82 hot prospects with personalized email campaigns queued in just a couple hours. So what did you do last night?
Do you want to start on this one?
So I think the good part, I'll say the good part. I think good part I liked. They try to do like a really good hook. I'm putting it on mute, but the first couple of seconds I was at least interested to see because it's unusual, right? It's not like the traditional textbook kind of ad. But after it got me interested, I got like completely confused. Maybe I'm a sales guy, so I understand the target audience or something, but it's like too much for me to comprehend in like 30 seconds. I get it that Attio could do a lot of stuff, but I think this ad was like too much for me to comprehend.
I see where you're coming from. I'm wondering if that's actually the point. So my take is the opener, interesting. You see it in B2C videos a lot, right? You start with something totally provocative and then you just flip it. So they clearly use that framework. And I think in B2B, this could work. Like in this case, you're marketing to sales and marketing people. All right, fair enough. Like potentially all right, but not with most B2B audiences, especially senior stakeholders. So they have permission to play here. I am not like deeply against the overwhelmed party guy connotation of the first shot. It's fine. But it did say a ton and I didn't understand. All I understand is Attio does a lot more than I expected. There's stuff with CRM, then they're digging at the AI meeting assistants like Fireflies. So it tells me AI is broader than I thought and can do more than I can. And maybe that's enough. Maybe it tells me go explore Attio and it changes my point of view about what it is, right, as a solution. So what I really liked in that, dude with a mic explains random stuff that he does that is totally overwhelming is it's kind of a nice personal touch, like, oh, here's Joey, here's me and him on a call. It does give it this UGC edge, right? Because you kind of believe this person. It's not staged, it's a little bit messy, and I'm kind of into it, right? But again, only marketing and sales as an ICP would probably handle this opener. Okay, the others I would hold back personally.
Let's go to the next one. This one is a long one. Let's see how quickly this loads.
I think maybe we can watch it halfway if we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like your business isn't moving fast enough? Like no matter how hard you work, everyone else just seems way further ahead. A few months ago, I was stuck in that mindset, constantly comparing myself, constantly feeling behind. And it wasn't until I paused, stepped back, and shifted my perspective that things really changed for me. For context, back in October 2021, I posted a TikTok that completely changed my career. That one video sparked the idea for Breakaway, a platform that helps UGC creators manage their content businesses and helps brands and agencies discover and collaborate with them seamlessly. Today, nearly 12,000 creators are on Breakaway. They've uploaded over 225,000 assets and built more than $4.5 million to their...
So I'll take a break here, but maybe we can start with you.
So this is interesting because it does look like proper UGC, probably very well edited as well. And let's remind ourselves it's an ad for AT&T, right? A small business section. So it's AT&T, it's a well-known brand. what could be the objective of this work, right? Is to keep it front of mind for small business, get credibility, this sort of we get you vibe, right? Like AT&T gets small business. And in that way, it works because, spoiler, if you watched all of this ad, I don't think there's a single like product feature or claim like, oh, we help you scale faster. This is nothing. There's not a single thing. So it's like a documentary of this creator, right, showing their journey. It's the only ad of the ones we've looked at that starts with relatable, motivating stuff like hero's journey, right? Hey, I had a problem. That sucked. Here's a solution. It's like typical hero's journey, right? In the writer's sort of frameworks. And it's the only one that makes me root for this girl, right? And I don't even know really the reality of her story, but I'm attached to the content creator at some emotional level. So it does something that not a lot of the other ones do, and I think that's great because AT&T could have done way more boring than this, you know?
Yeah, I love the hook. I think the first 4 or 5 seconds when she's talking about her problem, and I can relate to it because I mean I get this part, and then taking to the process, I think it goes deeper and deeper and shows me that yeah, this is my problem. This is my problem, right? And I think I like that part that it makes it so relatable. Um, I mean, but AT&T, I think it's too harsh for them to not difficult for them not to feature themselves on the video.
Yeah.
I mean, what they are trying to do, even like some brand mention, so that it becomes memorable for somebody who's just scrolling through the ad again. So that's my take.
Yeah, so maybe more visual cues towards the brand throughout the video, right? That's kind of what you're saying. Yeah, because you're gonna scroll past the first few seconds that it's there for. That's a good tip. I think I agree.
Move to the next one. This one is again hilarious ad.
It's Friday, it doesn't want to load. The internet is tired.
Yeah, Google Slide is not, I think, the best way.
It's okay. We'll get through this. There's not that much left. We'll figure it out. No? There we go.
Dr. Reginald Sigmund Tilwink III speaking, dream scientist, philosopher, almost best-selling author.
Hi, I just read your LinkedIn benchmarks report. That stat about the B2B customer journey being 211 days, brilliant.
211 days? Well, that's unusually long for a sleep cycle. Was this lucid dreaming?
No, the LinkedIn ads report, first touch to close one, amazing.
Well, I don't know what this first touch to closed one is, but it sounds deeply inappropriate. Good day.
What do you think, Dinah?
So it took me a while to figure out its dream data because it only comes back in the end. And I only just realized, I mean, this is a Sigmund Freud parody. Dream data. I've watched this a few times now and it only just landed, which is really bad. But I mean, look, it's an interesting concept. You can't deny that it stops the scroll, right? Taking a famous persona or brand, Sigmund Freud, is good, right? It makes it more sticky and memorable. There are sexual innuendos about first touch and closed one. I think that's, immature but hilarious at the same time. Like, that's passable. What surprised me the most is that it's I did not know that that's Dream Data's brand. And I'm not sure they thought about their brand before releasing it, right? Because they have a massive following on LinkedIn. They write in a certain way and style. And to me, this just doesn't sit anywhere near it. So it sort of distracts from my perceived brand of Dream Data. And instead of solidifying it, it's not building it, it's confusing it. So that would be a question mark, like, for the team. Maybe it's not the team that's responsible for content that deals with brand, and that's a very common marketing problem, right? Things don't add up. So interesting. Not sure if that is good for the company.
I think the first 4 or 5 seconds. Of course, hats off to Dreamweaver. Their LinkedIn marketing, like mostly on the organic executive front, they're amazing. I follow them all the time. Um, and but I think the first 4 seconds, I think, could have been slightly better. In terms of hooking me towards continue listening to this conversation, right? And I felt it was like a monologue because you don't see both sides of the conversation. Um, but yeah, I think for me, primarily the first few seconds.
Interesting. Like, I would love to hear what the team thinks about this. But it's sure an interesting way to promote a report. I'll give them that. Good one. Good one.
So I realized the way to run this video faster is to pause and play. That's what I did last time. Oh, it doesn't work.
I've been learning new skills on Udemy to keep up with AI, but Brian got one of those AI brains instead. I'm glad I got Udemy. You could say I've expanded my mind, but no, not like that. Udemy, a smarter way to learn.
Tell me.
So I think I love this ad mostly because of the metaphor, right? They made personalize the brain as a person and try to interact with, engage with that. And I think it's clever. Sometimes you see some content and you feel you are smart, but actually it's the content that's smart. But that's my take.
Oh, very interesting. I think you're right on that because, if scientifically, if you look at an ad and the ad makes your brain work, you're more likely to perceive the ad as good, clever, because you're clever and memorize it. Like that's the Economist ads, right? They're B2C, but they're kind of B2B. They're all just clever headlines. But I'm not a huge fan of this. And I think I'm biased because this feels very American humor, maybe a little bit overproduced to be UGC, right? We know it's not really UGC. And I'm just thinking, what's the goal here? The goal is to probably position Udemy as a source of knowledge and education in the age of AI, right? Something like that. But I don't know if it does that because it doesn't tell me anything of why, how. I'm still after this ad gonna go to ChatGPT for my learning. If anything, Udemy is a bit old school in my books. Like I haven't heard about it in the last maybe 5 to 10 years. So this confuses me a little bit. But I'm open to just being too European for this.
I want to maybe chat about a different topic within the ads. What are your thoughts about having polished ads versus like really raw form? And I know people have different opinions. When do you think one should use like a very raw cut? I'm not just video or UGC, but even could be like how people do this email screenshots or a Slack screenshot as ads, very text heavy kind of raw creative. What's your point of view? When should one use polished one or the raw one?
I think it depends on the goal, right? And what kind of brands that you are. If it's brand building and you just want people to get maximum eyeballs, maximum standout and impressions and recognizability, you can be quite playful with it until a certain stage of growth. Like I see teams at Series A do that. I don't see a single team being scrappy and at Series B. And that's because by that point they want to sell to enterprise or go up market in some way. So they tone it down a notch. That's just happens to everyone. So I would say depends on the business journey, business stage journey, but possibly also who you're marketing to. What bugs me the most is when a large, well-funded B2B company does scrappy, where like there's an idea, but gosh, you should have called a creative director to tell you if it's a good idea, right? You should spend like a week with someone who knows how to write good ads before you pump money into it, because they would tell you there is no coherent storyline or there's no distinctive brand assets, etc. Right? That bugs me the most. And if you are doing scrapping, then commit to it across every touch point that defines your brand. Otherwise, you're just disrupting what's happening with your brand in my eyes, right? It's
You can't be
confusing.
scrappy in like one channel or like one touch point. If that's your brand, be look like that every time.
I think so. I mean, you have to have consistency across channels. Otherwise, what? I know you on LinkedIn. You send me, I don't know, the email and talks a completely different tone of voice. It's just suspicious, right? Imagine if a human acted that way to you. Like, are you are you okay? How do you change personalities based on channel? Yeah, I think you got to decide and commit.
Interesting. We are short on time, so we'll skip one of the ads, but probably for the audience, we'll send it to you afterwards. But we'll go to the last one. Is guess which ad is created using AI. All right. So I'll play them one by one for 10 seconds each.
Even if you're a gun at selling, let's be real. Research and building lists can chew up your whole day. That's why I'm all in on Lucia. It's this prospecting AI tool. Think Spotify, but for sales. I just punch in how many leads I want. 25, 50, 100, you name it. Set how often, weekly.
This is A.
BDRs, if you want to become account executives, you need Lucia's competitive edge. Its AI takes care of the entire prospecting process, quickly sending you qualified leads based on your ICP. They call it sales streaming. Get it for 35% off through August 31st, or try it now for free so you can stop searching and start booking meetings.
Which one do you think was created using AI, at least the avatar?
I reckon the first one. I think so. The second one, the girl looks sideways at the end, which signifies some discomfort and realness. And I think her background is a bit, messy with the chair. The way the first one speaks is a bit too much, too perfect, maybe. Am I wrong? Are they both AI?
So I think they are both AI. Of course, no way for me to validate that, but I think the tonality of how the B ad character, the same tone without modulation, I think that could be the reason. And but I think, what do you think overall of the ad? I mean, what would you change if you had to?
I mean, if I look at messaging in the first ad, the Spotify for sales, I mean, it's like Uber for, I don't know, pets. Like, this is been and gone. We don't do that. Spotify for sales doesn't tell me anything about what you do. Although I know Lucia, but that's just me, right? Both of them have a double CTA, which means they haven't been written by a marketer. Try for free or get 35% off. I mean, what kind of madness is this? Direct me somewhere already. So that applies to both of them. And then the second one says leads streaming or something like that, which, I mean, it's a leap. All of it is a leap, right? To the Spotify land. I think it's popcorn content, right? To me, nothing sticky about it. Nothing stands out. Maybe the 35% off. I think it's aimed at salespeople, marketing people for sort of short attention span. It's a performance ad as much as I go, and I think it does a poor job at actually making me like or prefer Lusha over anybody else, because it doesn't give me any messaging that supports it, right? It's just upload your content. Is it better? I mean, there's so many tools. They're kind of all the same, right? Do you have better coverage of markets? I struggle with this, and I think it's a problem because go-to-market SaaS oversaturated as hell, right? And they're not standing out in this pile at all.
What's your
What do you
thought
think?
So I think I like the A ad more because I felt I could. I mean, they're not just telling; they're showing me, and I mean, as a sales guy, I could feel that, hey, this is how it's using. The second ad was okay. But another dilemma which we face constantly is when do we use AI and when do we not, especially for video ads or even static graphic ads. What do you think? When should someone lean onto using AI? I mean, with Nano Banana, you could do whatever you want, but how would you think about it?
I mean, I've seen a lot of cases of using AI in video that are very positive, such as anything related to onboarding, anything related to a pop-up on your website that says, oh, you need this, is here, or, like a chatbot or more interactive. I think when you're lower down the funnel using AI and it's like, an employee's face or an average face that is talking to you in a way that they already got your attention. That's easy, right? That makes sense. And yes, you definitely don't need a department of product marketers recording themselves day and night anymore. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. In terms of top of the funnel, I don't know. We use AI is derogatory a bit these days, don't we? I feel like the tide has shifted. If I want to see cool videos on TikToks, I don't know, of a cat stealing salmon, that was last night. It was really cute and being arrested for it, right? That's an AI video I'm open to because it's bite-sized entertainment content. When it comes to B2B, I worry that it's a bit lazy, disposable, and inauthentic. I'm not fully against it, but I'm yet to see good uses of video AI for ads. Yeah, and that bugs me. Maybe we need a few more months of the evolution, or maybe they just need to be more thoughtful, like idea-wise, concept-wise. What do you think?
For us, I think one use case which we strongly believe in is creating hooks with visuals, right? Because traditionally, like for example, if cats falls from the roof, we can't go and film it. You can't find stock media. How do you make cat walk like a king, right? Just to communicate more on the metaphor side. And I think AI makes it possible, and you could basically iterate and try and something. So I think creating hooks is an amazing thing. One of a trucking software customer which we were working with, we made that truck look like a transformer, and it was doing push-ups, right? This was only possible because of the VO3s and the nano bananas of the world. So I think on that front, I'm convinced. But overall, with the ad, I think if somebody makes out that this is AI and just like force-fitting it, I think it impacts negatively.
And I see that a lot in B2B, unfortunately, because there's this thought that brand is just a logo or an afterthought, which isn't correct, right? Start with your positioning, who you're going for, ICP-wise, and what your brand should stand for in order to appeal to them, and then go from there. And if you're marketing to marketers, funny AI will work, right? Something lighthearted, maybe. If you're marketing to CTOs, you have to be a lot more thoughtful about, there's only one chance to make a first impression. So don't ruin it with performance ads that look cheap,
Right. Good. Closing thoughts. So what are your top 2 takeaways from this conversation?
I would say don't use AI for AI's sake. Always have an understanding of the business, its commercial objective, its ICP, its brand. This is something that's come up again and again that it's missing. And then a concept. Get to a concept for your ad. Would it work without AI? And then use AI to execute, right? And that's an example of what you were saying, like a little hook that's related to a metaphor about the business, etc. That totally works. But don't just out AI your ad. You're going to be lost among thousands.
My takeaway was the one which you said that, hey, if you're marketing on one channel, make sure that you have similar touch point, like same looking, and your brand is important. Although we feel that, hey, just chuck the brand and let's follow on the messaging or entertainment part, but I think it's equally important to be remembered, and that only comes from brand. So that's my biggest takeaway.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
And second, I think about the audience, that, hey, if somebody has more attention span and you can be a bit bold in terms of the ad content, or if it's somebody super serious, or like for example financial industry, right? You can't make fun of people in like very serious businesses. So so think about that. But great. Thank you so much, Diana, for taking our time. If people want to reach out to you or learn more about you, what's the best way?
Find me on LinkedIn, Diana Gärdsell. It's going to be a bit hard to spell with the Swedish spelling, but you will be able to find me on this live stream. Add me, invite me as a friend, say hello, follow my content, and I have a bunch of free resources if you scroll down my profile about B2B SaaS, go-to-market, all kinds of frameworks, tips, and entire guides. Totally free. Also subscribe to my newsletter. It's called B2B That Made Me Feel Things. Memorable like that. And every month I break down stuff that I've seen that I think works really well and describe why from a scientific or commercial perspective. That's probably the way to go.
Lovely.
Super nice to have you.
Yeah, can you leave your newsletter link in the comments so people want to find out super easy? They can just take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do. And thank you for educating me about B2B UGC ads. I don't think us or any other listeners have ever seen so many packed together within a half an hour. And that's good for all of us. Super interesting.
Nice. Thank you.
Take care.